This week, I went into the comment section of the most watched silver videos on YouTube, channels with 100 to 200,000 subscribers, and I read hundreds of comments. Not the hype, not the cheerleading, the questions, the things real stackers are confused about right now. And what I found was fascinating because the same 8 questions kept showing up repeatedly. Things like, should I even be buying silver at $85? Or what's the right gold to silver ratio to make a swap? Or how do I allocate $500 versus $50,000? What's happening with the COMEX? Here's the thing. Most of these channels gave you hype. They gave you the headlines. What they didn't give you is a framework to answer these questions for yourself. That's what this channel is built on: frameworks, rules, and systems. So today, I'm going to answer all 8, not with predictions, with principles you can use whether silver is $85 or $185. I am Turbo, and this is Turbo Stacking, where we stack with purpose. Let's roll. This was the number one question I saw in every single comment section. People are paralyzed. Silver has gone from $25 to $85 in a few years, and they're asking, am I too late? Here's the framework I use. It's about replacement cost thinking. When you buy an ounce of silver today, you ask yourself, if I sell this ounce tomorrow and want to buy it back, what will it cost me? Not just spot plus premium plus shipping plus the tax hit if you sold at a gain. Your round trip cost on a single ounce could be 15 to 20% above spot. That means silver needs to rise 15 to 20% just for you to break even on a flip. So the question isn't, is silver too high? It's, am I buying this to hold for 3 months or 3 years? If your time horizon is in years and you're buying within a system, like my 3-bucket approach, then yes, you keep accumulating, but strategically. Allocate a fixed monthly amount, buy on scheduled intervals, and stop watching the daily price. The people panicking in those comment sections, they're thinking in dollars. Start thinking in ounces. How many ounces did you add this month? That's the only number that matters. I saw one comment that got 95 likes. I'm buying silver until the ratio hits 40 to 1. Then I'll convert to gold. If it never hits it, I'll just hold on to my silver. Well, this tells me people understand the gold to silver ratio concept, but not the execution. The historical average GSR sits around 60 to 1. Right now, we're in the low 60s. When the ratio compresses below 50 to 1, that's when silver is outperforming gold, which is what happens in a precious metals bull market. But waiting for 40 to 1 to make your first swap, that's like saying, I'll start exercising when I'm already healthy. Here's my rule. I swap in tiers. At 60 to 1, I start converting silver to platinum because the silver to platinum ratio is even more dislocated. At 50 to 1, I begin silver to gold swaps. At 40 to 1, I accelerate. I never go all in at one ratio. Why platinum first? Because platinum is 30 times rarer than gold, trading at a fraction of gold's price. I showed this a few weeks ago. I swapped 42.5 ounces of silver for 1.5 ounces of platinum. 0 cash out of pocket. That's the power of ratio thinking. Don't use ratios just as a target. Use them as a tool. This question had almost 1,000 comments on one video alone. People want to be told exactly what to buy. So here's my framework at each level. $500 or less. Survival stacking mode. Buy 90% constitutional silver. Pre-1965 dimes and quarters. Recognizable, divisible, no counterfeiting risk. At $500, you're building your emergency layer. Bucket number 1. $1,000 to $5,000. And now you diversify form factor. 60% in 1 ounce rounds or 10 ounce bars from recognized mints. 30% in constitutional silver, and 10% set aside for a ratio swap opportunity. You're building buckets 1 and 2 simultaneously. $10,000 to $50,000. This is where most people mess up. They buy $50,000 worth of silver and end up with 600 ounces of the same generic round. No diversification, no exit strategy. At this level, 50% physical silver in mixed form factors, 20% platinum using ratio swaps, 20% gold, and 10% in a high conviction mining position using the 90-10 framework. That last 10% is your asymmetric bet. Sell half at double and then move the profits into physical metal. The key principle at every level: never let any single position exceed your ability to recover from a 50% drawdown. Multiple comment sections were buzzing about COMEX glitches, record silver withdrawals, and whether we're heading toward a force majeure, meaning the exchange can't deliver physical metal and settles in cash instead. Here's the calm, rational breakdown. Yes, COMEX inventories have been declining. Yes, there was a pricing anomaly. Yes, 28,000 contracts were closed during a trading halt. Does this mean the system is about to break? Maybe. But here's what matters for you as a stacker. This changes nothing about your strategy. If COMEX defaults, physical silver premiums explode. People holding paper get dollars. People holding metal get metal. That's the entire point of stacking. If COMEX doesn't default, silver continues its bull market driven by industrial demand, monetary demand, and supply deficits. Either way, you want to be holding physical. The COMEX situation is a confirmation of your thesis, not a reason to change your behavior. Two massive stories this week that competitors covered but didn't connect. First, China. Reports of 60 tons of adulterated silver entering the market. People in the comments were saying, I'd never buy a panda. Reasonable caution. But here's the bigger picture. If China is cutting corners on silver purity, it tells you something about supply stress. You don't fake what's abundant. You fake what's scarce and valuable. Second, India. This is the story nobody's talking about enough. India just allowed fund managers to hold up to 30% of their portfolio in physical silver. Physical, not paper, not ETFs, actual metal. When institutional money enters the physical market at that scale, it doesn't just move the price, it moves the available supply. This is structural demand that doesn't go away with a price dip. 2 action items. 1, avoid unverified sources. Buy from established mints. Use a pocket pinger for secondary market. 2, recognize that long-term supply picture just got tighter. This supports your accumulation thesis. I saw comments ranging from, I just bought SLV on the breakout, to miners were the best investment of my life, to that's pure speculation. They're all right because they're answering different questions. Physical metal is your foundation, buckets 1 and 2, no counterparty risk, no management fees, no expiration date. The downside? Premiums, storage, and illiquidity. Paper silver, SLV or PSLV, is a trading tool. Fine for short-term positions, but in a systematic crisis, paper might not track physical. That's not a conspiracy. It's a structural feature. Mining stocks are your asymmetric bet, the 90-10 framework. 90% physical, 10% max in miners. Sell half at double and then move profits into metal, physical metal. If a miner 10 times, then you've converted speculative gains into permanent wealth. The mistake I see is people treating these as either or. They're not. They're layers of a system. Physical first, always. A highly liked comment said, I'd do pre-64 dimes and quarters over silver bars. Way easier to verify by anyone. And I agree completely. Here's why constitutional silver is your bucket one priority. Recognition. A 1964 Washington quarter is instantly identifiable. Your neighbor knows what it is. A pawn shop knows what it is. Divisibility. A silver dime at today's melt is roughly $6. A useful transaction size. Try breaking a 10-ounce bar in a grid down situation. No counterfeiting incentive. The effort to reward ratio of faking a $6 dime is terrible. Faking a 10-ounce bar, much more attractive. My rule, your first 50 ounces should be 100% constitutional. After that, diversify into rounds and bars for cost efficiency. That constitutional layer is your liquidity insurance, the silver you can spend, not just store. Those are the 8 questions that hundreds of thousands of viewers are asking right now. And notice what most of my answers had in common? Systems, not predictions. I don't know if silver hits $100 next week or pulls back to $70. Nobody does. But I do know that if you're stacking within a system, the 3-bucket approach, ratio swaps, capital rules, the 90-10 framework, then the price on any given day is just noise. If you're new here, I've covered every one of these frameworks in detail. I'll link the playlist below. Start with the 3-bucket system, then watch the ratio swap series. If you've been watching for a while, which of these 8 questions hit closest to home? Drop it in the comments, and if you have a question I didn't cover, put that down there too, because this format works, and I'll do it again. All the glory goes to God, and may God bless you all. As you were, stack with purpose, Turbo out.